Hey guys, welcome back to the Tuition Centre podcast. We're here with John O'Sullivan today and we'll be speaking about the Chemistry Leaving Cert exam. John, welcome today. Okay. Thanks very much for joining us. So we'll start off just by preparing for the Leaving Cert chemistry exam.
Yep.
Is there any advice you would give, preparation techniques? Any advice you'd be able to give to the students with that?
Okay, well, the first thing I would say is at this stage, really, you should be deciding what questions you're going to do. You should be, that should be first and foremost in your mind, so you can really focus your preparation. So there's 11 questions in the exam. You have to do 8. I would always say have an extra question if you can. Because it's possible that one of the questions will be just a stinker, and you need to have that extra one in there. And students often would struggle with knowing what questions to do. What I would say is, if you're good at calculations, do the calculation-based questions, which would be titrations, equilibriums, stoichiometry. If you really don't like calculations, there's no problem. There's plenty of other questions you can do. So you'd have question 5, which is the periodic table and radioactivity and all that. You have question 6, which one knows where there's calculations in there, but there's the rates of reactions, there's water chemistry, there is the organic experiment, there's the number 3 experiment. So basically, that's usually my starting point when I'm talking to students. Are you good at calculations or are you not? And that can give you a bit of direction of what to do, whether you go down the calculations line or the calculations light. I would say you always have to do a little bit of calculations, and then the other kind of big area that people would struggle with is organic chemistry. So generally there tends to be minimum of 3 organic questions in the test. So you have the experiment and you have 2 main section questions and sometimes another half question or so. So again, if you don't like organic chemistry, usually that means you don't do the question 8, but you would do question 6, which is the fuels and heats. So those doing chemistry will kind of know what questions I'm on about, and so that they would generally be the 2 questions I ask students when they're choosing questions: how are you with calculations and how are you with organic chemistry? And that really focuses and molds the questions that you do, and I would always say as well, if possible, have question 4, which is the short questions, as your extra question, because that's really hit and miss. That can be really easy one year, really difficult another year. So I would say have your 8 questions and question 4 is your extra. Could turn out to be your best question, but it could turn out to be your worst question. So hit and miss, So that's the first thing I would say. Make sure you're clear on what questions you want to do. Talk to your teacher. My own students and my students with the Tuition Centre would email me and ask for advice, and generally you work it out pretty quickly what they're going to do. So decide what questions you're going to do, and then you need to start with your study, So I would always suggest initially go topic by topic. Okay, so start off with maybe your titrations, go through your notes, go through exam questions, then go topic by, and after a while, getting closer to the exam, you would maybe just do exam paper by exam paper. So you're getting used to doing 2 or 3 different, topics in one go, and that usually works pretty well. So
that's excellent. Now, and just a final question on that point: when you're going topic by topic and you're practicing these questions, would you have kind of a certain time limit for yourself when you're answering these questions? Yeah, generally, if you're doing an exam question, it's about 20 minutes per question you have in the exam. Okay. It's probably 22 and a half, but I would say 20 minutes. So set yourself 20 minutes, try and get the exam done within that time. And usually, generally speaking, students in the chemistry exam have plenty of time. There's 3 hours in total. And it's rare enough that a question will take the full 20 minutes. But I would say don't go beyond the 20 minutes, because if a particular question does take you longer than 20, another question isn't going to, so you will have time to go back to it, if that makes sense. So 20 minutes, try and get it done within that time. If you run over, leave it, come back to it, And John, you have an 8-day revision course.
Correct, yeah.
Is there anything you could speak to about that? How would that kind of help in preparation for the Leaving Cert?
Well, I think one of the biggest positives of the 8-day revision course is it's obviously the 8 days leading up to the chemistry exam, and the chemistry exam is towards the end of the Leaving Cert. And I've found from experience of, some of my own students who maybe are really struggling have come to me in that little last lead up to the exam.
Yep.
And quite often they're running out of steam. The exams are intense, they're really tiring. Usually there's a little bit of a gap up to the chemistry exam, and sometimes students are just so tired that they find it hard to motivate themselves to study. So to me, one of the biggest benefits of it is it keeps you focused, keeps you going for that last little push leading up to the chemistry exam. I break the course up into 8 different parts. Okay, I cover every topic. Okay, I fit that all into the 8 days. I give a good set of revision notes, so you kind of know everything you need to know. Okay, all the definitions you need to know, which are a big part of every question. And I also give kind of little pointers or predictions of what I think might come up in the question, which have turned out to be quite accurate. Students love a course, any shortcuts, they're very happy with that. So that to me, so I think number one, when maybe the energy levels are waning a bit, it just keeps that momentum. I'm doing the work for you. I'm putting stuff together. I'm giving you the notes. I'm giving you exam questions and going through relevant parts of different topics. And, it's basically your chemistry study is taken care of every night for 40 minutes or so,
John, look, that's super. We'll finish it up there. Guys, we want to thank John for being here today. And any links that we've mentioned, we'll put them in the description below, and we'll see you next week in next week's episode.